We are.
Dude, are we starting with screen time? Is that where we're beginning the journey today?
Well, that's where we left off last week. So if there is a continuality between these podcasts, then shall we pick up from there? How should we start? Would you like to avail where you're at, or shall I talk about where I've come to?
Well, you kind of introduced me to it last week, I guess, because mine was switched off and everything anyway. So I tried, as I said, to just go as normal and not minimize anything or affect anything. But that being said, I know that I definitely was suddenly very aware of it simply because we were going to talk about it. Not that I was trying to manipulate it, but I just found myself questioning myself more every time I picked up my phone. I was like, do I need to pick this up right now? Do I need to look at anything? So I definitely felt a thing. But in that sense, it was really good because it just brought awareness to me using my tech. So I would say that my numbers are probably lower than what they would have been if I just had it on. But I haven't really looked at them either. So I've not been like every day checking in and seeing what the deal is with it. So we can go through it.
Yeah, let's go through it. Well, I've in comparison, so this week I have been very aware and monitoring, and I've had settings in place. So for those that didn't join us last week on our podcast, you're not caught up. We were both discussing the feature film or the documentary film, excuse me, Social Dilemma, and how, this is last week's podcast about it and how, we've decided to follow up on it. So this week as a complete week, because I didn't realize the app does it by Monday to Saturday. So I did start on Wednesday last week, but I've only got like a week stat for this week so far, and I've managed to stay under 30 minutes every day on social. So today, which is day 3, I'm on an hour and 21. So obviously it would be 90 minutes of total. So I've actually stayed way under using the tools on the screen and things like that. And my overall screen time, everything is down. But how does it compare to your numbers? Because I've got you down last week, a guess, a daily average of 6.5 hours.
Okay, so I'm looking at this week as in Monday to Wednesday, and we had 5 hours 52 minutes. So about where we said.
Yeah.
Where were you before when you first looked at this?
Where was I before? So at my peak, looking at it as a week comparison, so I'm averaging an hour, half an hour a day on social, and this includes text and that as well. I made some little notes actually, but the week before, I'd already done half the week. I was on the social for a whole week of nearly 6 hours, so that's a good almost hour a day.
What was your daily usage like in total? Screen usage, because that was my 5.5 was my screen usage. Socials was an hour and a half.
Hour and a half a day.
Yeah, daily.
On that.
Am I right? Yeah.
Mine last week. One moment, I've jumped out the wrong didgeridoo here. So my daily use, and this is across all my devices as well. Have you got it synced to all your devices? Yeah. Was as an average was 7 hours.
Right. Yeah. So I'm an hour under, but like I said, that's kind of with the niggle in my head that we were looking at this thing. And I guess the things it doesn't take, this is what I was thinking, things like TVs are not taken into consideration with it. So if you watch a film, that's another hour and a half of screen time on your day, isn't it?
Yeah, it's NFL season at the moment, so 9 hours of red zone on a Saturday is obviously going to be on a Sunday rather going to be a chunk of that. Pickups. We had you down as 150 daily pickups.
Right, daily average 59, but today was that? Yeah, today was 67, so I was a bit higher today on that one. I'm assuming that's on the phone, right? When it does pickups.
Yeah. So when
if I go back to last week, just because we had 3 weeks of last week, 61 last week, 67 this week.
You pick up your phone far less than me, but you've got an Apple Watch, haven't you?
Yeah, and I don't know how that interacts and how that reacts with it. But as I've said, I've got all notifications on that switched off anyway. So that's not really, I very much use it as a fitness tracker and as a watch.
Okay.
So not as much, but I'm aware of these anyway, in the sense that I'm not very attached to my phone, and I don't like being attached to my phone, and I've always had that way about me. So I do purposely try to leave it and forget about it and do things off of it. But I also work a lot from my computer. So the way with the Apple ecosystem, I can message from my computer, I can do my emails, I can do FaceTime calls. So it kind of, in a lot of ways, when I'm at the computer, the phone is obsolete to pick up anyway, because I'm doing most of it on there.
Crosses over. And then most used category you said was going to be entertainment. Was that the most used?
Well, so this is the thing. Again, a bit ski whiff this week. I've been filing my taxes this week.
Okay,
It ended up being productivity and finance. That is my highest category. But entertainment and social are a close second. Again, both with about an hour and a half on them.
So you said like you don't have a good relationship with your phone, as in you don't particularly like the advice, and like looking at things in the week because you were premeditated, I suppose, with it.
Yeah.
Has it changed your thought on it? Or like, I'm a bit of an extremist, so if I get an idea, I run at it, and it's like, well, I'm cutting to 30 minutes a day, and that's just how I behave. But yeah,
I've been pondering it all week, because we've been having the discussion and we were going to talk about it today. And every time I picked up the phone, I then had a little thought about the whole thing in itself. And I think where it gets a little bit dangerous is identifying screen time between screen usage, in the sense of scrolling through Facebook, Instagram, or watching YouTube videos, we can say is a waste of time and it's not good screen time. But filing your taxes or writing a book or creating a lesson plan or whatever we're doing productively on our machines, that's, in this modern age, that's how you make your money, pay your bills. It's, for a lot of people, it's their passion, it's the way they approach things. So do you count that in the same regard in terms of screen time?
Well, that was one of the things that I was looking at and thinking about this past week as well, since going on this venture. And we've got a separate work device, so we've got a separate phone for work. So that didn't clock up the screen time on my device and didn't clock up the social. So what I've found this last week is I've not used my phone whatsoever for work posts on Instagram, for instance, because obviously you can have that across the devices. And I think that has been a benefit, because it's prevented me or given me less opportunity to just scroll on the Instagram thing. And what it comes back to, ultimately, what they were saying in that whole documentary, the people that have invented it, that hooking, that getting you to be engaged with it. So I think that's a good discipline to have set. And like, I don't have messages and that on my laptop or computer, only the work ones. I wasn't going on Facebook on the computer knowing that it would rack up the screen time. We've actually got a second laptop, which is like the family one that we all use. Like the girls go on it for movies, Lauren goes on it for her bits, and it's my user. And on Monday, I used up 21 minutes of social time without going on a device. So I was like, what's going on? And Lauren was on Facebook on the other device. So I quickly disconnected that device. And like, I don't use that for my Facebook at all. So there was an element this last week of using a business tool. So I don't have a problem with that. But and I think there's control over that. It's like, for instance, we'll talk about it later, actually, our free top tools. Did you come ready with the tools, Az?
I'm good to go.
Oh, yeah. We'll do that at the end. I want to save that to the end. And for instance, a actual tool, you pick it up to use it, don't you? And I was thinking about it with like a newspaper, for instance.